Hello. I think I'm streaming. I think it's happening. I think it is going. Let's have a look, double check. This is a bit of a test stream. Hey everybody. This is, a test stream. Mixing some stuff. Mixing some Americana style ballady things. Something a bit different for this channel anyway. But this is kind of what I do. This is my daily job really nowadays. And yeah, since COVID and everything, this is kind of what I do every day. I'm mixing, producing, and doing all that kind of stuff. Yeah, stepping outside of just the bass playing thing on the channel. So what I want to do is first see the chat. So I think I can see this. I'm kind of learning my way around OBS and doing everything. I've never done any of this before. But it's quite exciting, and it opens up a whole world of other kind of things we can do on the channel as well. Streaming things more live, being more interactive. And yeah, I think it's working. I think you should be able to see what's going on the screen. You should be able to hear me, which is great. And yeah, well, maybe it's not great for you, but let's see. Depends what I say, isn't it? And let me see. Why can't I see the chat? Anyone who's an OBS expert, let me know. I don't know. I'll work it out as it's going along. Studio mode, is it in there? No. Last time I did this, I could see the chat perfectly, but when I was doing my little test stream, it was just there, right in front of me. Anyway, I can just grab it up on my phone for now, and I'll work that out at another point in time. Turn the volume down on that to make sure nothing's coming out. Are we all good? Yeah, it looks like it's working. Cool. In that case, I'll just leave that running. Anybody who's got any questions, let me know, and I'm just gonna go through and do some things that I need to do to get this track finished. So as I say, this is a track for, as it says in the description, this is a track for a band called Littlemen, who I've been helping out with producing a little bit and mixing some stuff. A lot of it was done over lockdown, and yeah, it's with things like this that are kind of low budget projects, I can obviously show you what's going on. Bigger things I've got to keep a bit more secretive and not maybe share with the public beforehand. But yeah, so it's an Americana kind of thing. I'm kind of there. I've done a lot of the mix. I'm just kind of now going through and finishing off. So some of the steps I like to finish off a mix are with things like a bit of automation to make things move in and out. And there are just a few little bits and pieces here and there that I want to bring out, tuck in or so on, and just get it so that the mix feels like it moves a bit and does a bit more than just kind of sits there and just is statically pretty. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and just play some and do some tweaks to things that need doing. Any questions, let me know in the comments.
Do you understand what I've been going through? Times come and gone. Oh, what can I do? We were divided by a wall that has now been broken down. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares. Time, I wonder what you were going through. If only
As you can see,
I could make it,
finding my way around.
I would try to get to you.
Maybe that's the answer. There we go.
I look at you and all I see, memories lay before me. You were lying there.
just sorting out my OBS chat and stuff, so hopefully I can see everything now. Yeah, there we go. Got the live chat up on my second screen. So that's an idea of the song. First thing I want to do is just lay in a pad. I just think it needs a little bit of another texture, because it's all acoustic instruments except the keys, which got quite an 80s vibe. But I just think I want a bit more texture, a bit more of something around the track, just to set that atmosphere a bit more. As you can kind of hear, a lot of it's kind of in a church space. I've got a bit of a sucker for a church space in general. But I'm going to lay down in a pad now, just through the track. And won't be the most exciting thing in the world, but while people are kind of coming in or whatever, it's good to get done. That's what they were looking for. Obviously it's quite loud. It won't be as loud as that.
Do you understand what I've been going through? Times come and gone. Oh, what can I do? We were divided by a wall that has now been broken down. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
Cool. So that's the general idea. I think for that main theme, the main theme that comes in there on the electric guitar, I want to have the kind of the A flat in there mixed with it. But yeah, for the verses, just the third and the fifth as the pad kind of gives it a little bit more ambiguity, a more kind of inverted sound than just being straight like an A flat pad all the way through. It just kind of gives you the home key. If I can, I like the pads to move a little bit and to just not sit there the whole way, but to definitely imply different things with the harmony. So yeah, I'm just going to do that start again, and then I'll just drag and drop that for the verse and the chorus again, because that's the simple part. Yeah, it's going to sound great at the start, and I'll probably fade in. I'll probably tweak the sound a bit, because this is very vanilla. I think this is perfect pad 2 on Alchemy. Quantize that probably. I've gone a bit early, as you can see there. Hit Q. There we go. Just to tuck it in so that it starts in the right place. Otherwise, you end up with a empty MIDI block. So that's that. So that's the verse, chorus, and drag that through now for verse 2. Join those two together. So it's oh, not quite continuous. Almost continuous.
I wonder what you were going through. If only I could make it, I would try to get to you. I look at you and all I see
Great, that's working, that's doing its job. As you can hear, there's loads of reverb on it, which is just what I want for that pad. Let's come out the back of that into the bridge section, which is pretty much the same as the verses. There's a slight change in the structure. Going on back to the band. I think that's the same block, just doubled. Cool.
When we were first together, we were.
Maybe drop some more of that pad in there with the where's the chorus? That's the chorus, isn't it? I could take that, chop the front end off it. No, I can't. That was a bad idea. There we go. Any questions about anything at all, let me know in the chat, be it bass stuff or production stuff, anything. Let me know. It's good to have discourse. And yeah, if you guys got any ideas or anything for this track, let me know as well. Kind of shape it. Why not? So, here we go. Where are we?
First together.
Let's continue that on from there.
When we were first together, we were so very young.
Oh, interesting. I quite like what that did there. I don't know whether to keep that high. Obviously, it's going to be way quieter, so this is going to be really tucked under. Let's try that with the that A flat little note there, just to add that real tension. That's like an inverted pedal to get things going, if we're talking classically. I genuinely might just leave it so that it stays on that A flat the whole way through this last chorus. Just to really build that tension. Well, the velocities of these are all over the place, but it doesn't really matter too much.
So very young. I had to wait so long. Oh, what more could I have done? You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
Oh, yeah, I kind of want that. Nah, I think we're gonna have the third and fifth under that last section, just so that it feels like we've come away from the real tension of that. Great. Let's cut that there. No, cut in the wrong place. Right into that bar. Cool. Chop that. Then I think let's join it all together. That's the one part. I then think let's take all the velocities, make them the same probably. Oh, it kind of works actually. That's a bit much, but I'll fade that in.
Do you understand what I've been going through? Time.
Okay, great. So let's make that a little bit less vanilla. It's really kind of a bit boring. So this is Perfect Pad 2 from in Alchemy, which probably many of you are familiar with if you use Logic. I do like Alchemy. I think it's really pretty cool. You can get a lot out of it. But I just think leaving things stock is kind of It's like leaving reverb stock. It kind of makes it a bit plastic sounding. It's kind of obvious that it's been done, and also obviously everyone can access this, so it's not exactly like the sounds are unique or interesting anyway. Let's try just moving this around a bit. I quite like that, where you just get a little bit of the texture. It sounds like it's got a bit of distortion or something on it. It's got a little bit of a kind of decay, fade away. Let's have a look on these effects and see what we've got. I think I want to add a light tremolo to it. Yeah, I think a light tremolo perhaps. I know there's a tremolo if you drag it across there to get a bit of tremolo, but I'm not sure that's quite the right thing for me and this song. I also push the attack back a little bit. See if that helps with a bit of a decay fade in. Not enough. Something kind of really creepy about it now, actually. Yeah, something slightly detuning. Is it this guy? Maybe. Maybe that triangle there. Let's tuck that back in. I'm not sure I quite want the creepy sound as much.
Do you understand what I've been going through? Times come.
Cool. Gonna add a bit of modulation to it. Work a bit quicker because it's not worth getting stuck on stuff like this. Bit of chorus, but not too much that it becomes super 80s, because that's not quite the vibe I want. I want emotion and sadness, really, rather than exciting 80s pop.
Understand.
Even there's still quite a lot of it, so I'm going to tuck it back a little bit more. Don't need it that loud. Genuinely kind of liked it where it was. I think what I'm going to do is I should have a bus set up for keys and synths and things. I'm going to send it over to the keys bus. It's got a bit of saturation on it. So the way I've got the mix set up at the minute is, as you can see, most of it goes through different buses. So I've got drums and bass bus, an electric guitar bus, a keys bus, acoustic guitar bus, and a vocal bus. So rather than just have everything on the master fader, these are kind of independent master faders with their own setup on each. A lot of it's plug-in alliance stuff, Some of it's stolen from Joe Carell's video on Plugin Alliance about this kind of workflow, but it also matches what I would do typically in the studio with the analog desk. Is more to have each like a range of tracks bust through one or two channels on the desk, and that makes more sense to me. So doing it like this is kind of like that, where most of the things are going into, these are each separate buses of the different elements of the track, and they've all got independent compressors, and they've got independent saturation on each of them. So like for example this drum and bass bus, you've got the Lindell 80, the Neve bus, and what I've done is turn up the harmonic distortion a lot on that to give it that saturation, that warmth, and helps things cut a little bit, gives you more perceived volume. Then we've got the Shadow Hills to do the compression for the drum and bass, so they're together, and that kind of does actually really help a lot, gluing it in a quite satisfying way for the rhythm section. And then you've got the Lindell T100, 100, which is giving it some tubey, some digital tubiness, and a bit of warmth, a bit of extra bottom end, and a little bit of extra top end, as you can see there. And that's the same thing that I do for each of these buses, so different plugins, so that might be more of an API style thing on the guitars, and again on the piano, guitars, and then I've got a lot of SPL stuff on the vocal, and the Neold stuff for a bit more of an old school warmth thing. And talking about old school warmth, I'll bust these pads through the keys bus, and let's just see if that changes their perceived volume and things like that. I think I'm just going to really tuck it under, so I don't need it to be that loud at all. I'm also going to chop the front of that. As you can hear, there's a bit of a guitar dung. So I think that's probably about right for the pad. Then what I'm going to do is I'll turn these off and bounce it in place, because otherwise it gets quite annoying. I'll bounce it in place without these plugins engaged, and then I'll just do a little bit of tweaking afterwards. Obviously I could put the plugins on and then bounce it, but I just find it easy to manipulate sound when it's continuous, whereas the MIDI will keep dropping in and out if I pause and play. So bounce that track in place, replace it, bypass the effects, great. Chat from Andrew while this is bouncing. What's it saying? Sorry, I'm trying to get to grips with OBS and putting things so that I can see them. So I could see that you'd written a message, Andrew, but I couldn't see what it said, which is quite unhelpful. What am I up to? Yeah, just doing a mix. So this is a mix of a band called Littlemen, who I've been helping out with a little bit over lockdown and things, while I was getting my chops back together. And this is kind of the end of their album project. This is a mix for that. So once this is done, that'll be a whole album for them done and sorted. So yeah, I thought while I was doing this anyway, I may as well let you guys see kind of what's going on and what I'm up to. Sorry, it's also kind of a bit of a test stream. So while I'm looking over here is I'm trying to deal with OBS and get it to do what I want it to do, because this is my first time using it. But yeah, it seems to be going okay. Let me know if the stream's working out okay, your end and quality stuff wise. If there's anything that's not quite working or going how it should be, just let me know. There we go. Alright, cool. I think that's got me sorted for the chat now, so I can see that quite clearly. The downside is I can't see if anything goes wrong. But there we go. This stuff happens on the first streams and things like that. That's the way it works. Okay, let me drag this out and then I'll get it back where it needs to be. Yeah, totally. Right, there we go. I can see the chat. I've got everything going. I totally would love one of those new Apple displays that they announced yesterday or the day before. But I've got my 27-inch iMac with a lovely display that does the job, and I actually don't really have that much space in here for that kind of stuff. I always used to be a laptop and screen kind of guy, but yeah, now I'm with the iMac, but it works super reliably and it just gets work done. That's the most important thing. So cool, let's get this pad tucked away, and I'm going to start automating bits and pieces. There's also a couple of bits of the vocal that I'd like to treat with Melodyne. I think there's a place where I stretched the vocal in editing earlier, and where I've stretched it, the vibrato's kind of stayed, so I just need to take that out, and then we're all good to go, and it should be ready to send off.
Understand what I've been going through. Times come and gone. Oh, what can I do? We were divided by a wall that is now been broken down.
That's super subtle now in there. It's not very loud at all, but I think that's doing exactly what I wanted it to do, which was just to add a little bit of a kind of ethereal vibe, a little bit of something, just to sit over the top of everything. Behind everything. Sweet. So that's what I needed that to do. I think it's doing its job. It's adding something that you don't really hear, obviously, but I think it definitely adds a bit of depth to the track, a bit of front to back. And I've put it as wide as it can, really, with a stereo. Well, not as wide as it can, but I put it wider with the S1 Imager plug-in from Waves, just to give it even more width, get it out the way of the center, and just adds a little bit of something to the outside of the track. So it's really cool. So that's that bit done. Then, like I was saying, there's a couple of vocal bits, I think, right at the very end of the track. And I'll have a look at these, where I've actually stretched them in post-production with a Melodyne, but I think I've just missed the fact that it's made it all wobble a bit. So I just wanted the notes to hold a little bit longer.
I had to wait so long.
Does that one do it?
Wait so long. Oh, what more could I have done?
That might be one that I've stretched.
I have done.
It's a bit kind of done. No, these are the ones that are the problem. It's that one here.
No one cares.
As you can see, it's just kind of spread the vibrato that's naturally in the voice. So I want to take that and treat that in Melodyne, and also this one is even worse because I dragged it even further. So that's a me thing. That's not really a vocalist thing. It's yeah, just afterwards I thought it'd be really nice for it to just hang on a little bit longer. So there you go, there's Melodyne. I'll hit play and it will load it all in.
No one feels the heat and no one cares.
So there you go, it's doing its thing. And if I click here, what bar are we on? 65, yeah, there we go, it's all lined up. So as you can see there in Melodyne, don't know if you can see it, it might be a little bit too small on the stream. Let's try. Give these both a click, and then just want to take out some of that vibrato movement. So I'm using this one, pitch modulation, press Alt, and you get a bit of the old school auto-tune vibes, but hopefully you won't be able to notice that too much.
No one feels the heat and no one cares.
Let's try that soloed.
No one cares.
Little bit in there, but hopefully in the track that's not going to be too much of a noticeable thing. Might get...
No one cares.
It's always difficult when you do things like this because you want it to sound natural enough.
No one feels the heat and no one cares. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
That's the one that's the problem.
Cares.
Because it's just so obviously wide. Maybe not. Might be a case where I have to actually go back to where it was. Oh, I'll just remove Melodyne. That wasn't the aim. Might have to go back to where it was and shorten it, perhaps. Which is not ideal, really. The best way would probably be actually to go back in and into the other project and find the original. Let's see if I can get away with it.
No one feels the heat and no one cares.
That's not ideal, is it?
Cares.
Straight flatten it out. Maybe not.
Cares.
Sounds a bit like a chorus pedal, isn't it? Not ideal, really, that. Let's see what I can do. Put that back to where it was, which I guess is 100%. Let's try changing the mic. And then maybe let's try and time shift it back to where it was. I like the fact this time tool looks like a TIE fighter. Start this again. That's the one.
No one feels the heat and no one cares.
Cares on 3 would be ideal, I think. Maybe there. 4.
No one feels the heat and no one cares.
Might have to be just really short and I have to take it back out. Let's try that.
Cares.
Flatten it out is the only option, I think. If not, I might just have to go back and grab the other one, but I'll do that after this.
No one feels the heat and no one cares.
Yeah, probably not. I think I'm going to have to grab the original one, but that's okay. That's okay. So I'll do that after this stream, because otherwise I'll have to come out of it, audio drop out, it probably won't work again. It'll be a nightmare. Okay, but that's that. As an idea, that didn't work, so I won't do that again. But it's worth trying things like that, because I think for me it would really add something to have that, to be able to go that long. Maybe something like I could try something like flex pitch, or I guess auto tune as well. Something that's a little bit less natural. The one thing about Melodyne is it's very natural, so it doesn't really do the full-on auto tune vibe I found in that kind of straight, blocky, synthetic thing. But flex pitch does do that, so maybe I'll try one of those. But you get the idea. But without having it resung, I don't really think there's an answer to that that's going to sound good enough. And it's also in context with this kind of a track, because it's a ballady type thing. Too much artificial stuff is going to just be very obvious. And obviously the instrumentation is quite organic in terms of it being real instruments and things like that. So I don't have much of a choice when it comes to... I can't make too much of the vocal synthetic, or otherwise I'm kind of in problems. Okay, so that's done. Next I just want to automate some things in and out. You can probably tell there's a bit of a level disparity at points I don't really want. This acoustic guitar is one of the first things I want to kind of bring up and down, because I think it gets a bit in the way of the vocal. So I'm just going to pop that on the... I should put it on touch for now, and just go along and automate things up and down. And this is just to give a bit more life to tracks overall in their finished state, so that everything's not static.
Do you understand what I've been going through? Times come and gone. Oh, what can I do? We were divided by a wall that is now.
Some of that was a bit severe, so let's go back and touch that.
Times come and gone. Oh, what can I do?
Tuck it under for the chorus.
We were divided by a wall that has now been broken down. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares. Time, I wonder what you
Got a bit more going on here, so I don't think I need to be as present with the acoustic guitar. Like that bit jumps out a bit too much for me. I didn't want to compress any of this too much, so I didn't want to squish it down into a box, and it just becomes very, very unnatural. So I tried to really leave this mix quite open and uncompressed if I can. Just rely more on saturation to bring things up and bring their levels out. But yeah, this acoustic guitar, I think by the time we got to that second verse, maybe we can just drop down a little bit, because we kind of know what it does. You've already heard it in the first verse when it's very exposed, and you've got a lot more to listen to now. We've got other guitar parts and things coming in and fleshing it out a bit more compared to the first verse.
time.
So maybe it's all needs to come down. Let's just latch it all down in a sec.
Time, I wonder what you were going through.
That one's just super loud. That's me playing guitar and just not doing a good job of it, but there we go.
What you were going through. If only I could make it, I would try to get to you. I look at you and all I see
quite a strong argument there to say that I should just cut the track in the chorus because you can't really hear it at all. I don't know if it needs it because it's quite a busy part. Bring it up and see what happens.
If only I look at you, to you. I look at you and all I see memories lay before me. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
So anyway, there I think I need to tuck it under. So we've got the guitar solo you want to be listening to. So the melody.
When we were first together, we were so very young.
Okay, great. So that's all written. As you can see here, I've cut it out in the last chorus. I think it's probably just a case that I need to do the same thing in the second chorus as well. So let's drop into the second chorus and chop it.
I look
It's one of those things where you're trying to kind of add interest, but it just doesn't need it. Just doesn't need the movement. And anything in there that doesn't need to be is just kind of taking up efficiency, taking out space in the spectrum and making everything less clear. So I'm just going to take it out. If anybody has any questions about anything they want to ask, let me know. Just having a quick look on the old OBS and everything. But yeah, anybody with questions, let me know. They can be about anything. Mixing, about bass, about me, about, yeah, anything and everything is allowed. Well, within reason. Cool, so that's the acoustic guitar automated. I'm just going to automate a few other little bits and pieces now too. So the drums overall is one of the things that I want to automate. Just so that, as I say, everything's got some movement. So again, I'm going to do the same thing, just kind of latch. For drums, I'll probably just write it a little bit more directly than I would with something like a vocal. I can just kind of do a whole section up and down. With other instruments, I like to do a bit more of micro automation like you've just seen, so that it really does feel like it's constantly moving and constantly got some life to it.
We were divided by a wall that has now been broken down.
So that's half a dB down. Should show half a dB down, cool.
No one feels the heat and no one cares.
The other thing I mentioned is oh no, I'll keep it up there. The other thing I should mention is that I generally mixed and got the levels right using the end section. So that last little section you've heard, that last chorus, which is the biggest of them all. So that's why I'm going now back through and then bring things up and down, because what might be the right level there isn't the right level throughout the rest of the track.
I would try to get
So there and there. Let's bring it down, and then where are we back up again? Oh, just had the ghost of my backing vocals. Just doing a little bit of a thing in my left ear there. Okay, cool. Just bringing it down for the verse.
time. I wonder what you were going through. If only I could make.
Great. And then
I look at you and all I see memory. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
just adding some front end to the kick there actually, because as you can see, I've kind of not done anything with it. I thought I had, but I've totally put this plugin on and just not bothered to EQ it. I just like a little bit more cut, so maybe a bit more 2K from the inside kick drum mic, and yeah, a bit more of 125 just to make sure it speaks on smaller systems.
I look at you and all I see memories lay before me. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
I'm also one for I really like layering sub content underneath a lot of the bass parts. So I made with that in the last chorus actually, just had a little bit of a think about that. It might be cool to have a sub on that last one that's just really fat, to add a bit more. But yeah, that's just thinking about that while I was adding the adding or subtracting the EQ to that kick drum there. Want enough of that kind of 30 Hz range in this track, because throughout the majority of it, that's the only real deep low end that the track has.
No one cares.
We've got this sample. Just got plenty of bottom end as well. Yeah, I mean, it sounds good to me in the mix and everything. I'm not really the best too much.
When we were first together, we were so very young. I had to wait so.
No, that should be good. Okay, and then this last chorus I really want it to come up. So we go back to 0, which is where it started. Great. So that should be it.
Together.
And then there, we'll just tuck it back down again for the end. So I really want this to have like a nice arc that it comes up and back down again. Great, that should do. Definitely a lot more punch in that kick drum now. Might actually have to bring that overall level down just a touch. But yeah, that's what I was after, a bit more cut, a bit more definition. I might just add a bit more top end to it.
You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
I really like 8K on kick drums, but for this track it's just going to be way too much cut and a bit too kind of pop rather than more organic.
We were divided by a wall that has now been broken down. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
Great, that sounds good to me. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the bass. I'm going to do that thing with the bass. I'm going to add a bit of sub for the bottom end at the very end of the track. Obviously, it's a bass orientated channel. So for those of you who are particularly interested on the bass side of things, I've tried to DI, which was just this part. I split the bass into two in general. So the low end is the DI on its own, and that happens under 150 hertz, as you can see here. I've got a little bit of a high pass at 20, just so there's no super low end that doesn't need to be there. But yeah, or inaudible low end basically. So it's 20 to 150 hertz. It's the clean DI, and I just put an 1176 on that. And I will have recorded it through a Cali 76 as well, so plenty of 1176 action going on. So that's clean. So this is an idea. I recorded it with my Warwick Star bass, which isn't in the room with me at the minute. Actually, I think it's in that back right there. So that's the DI on its own, under 150 hertz. This is the full range sound that was originally tracked. As you can hear, it's flat wound, very old school kind of thing. So that's that. And then on top of that, we've then got a bass amp signal, which has got a load of stuff going on the other hand. So we've got an Ampeg SVT plug-in, the classic one, which I've mentioned before on the channel, I think, and I do like a lot. Take all these bits off one by one. So this is the SVT amp on its own. I like a bit, for this kind of thing, you can definitely go for way more grit than you would in a live situation, or just when you're playing at home. That grit and saturation and harmonic content really helps in it, with it cutting and also sounding a lot bassier than it is, and you just more bottom end than you'd expect by using an amp on the DI signal. So as you can see, I've split that, I've doubled it. It's exactly the same. These are exactly the same track part, just one's running through an amp and one's not. So this is them together. That's the Ampeg on its own. Now as well, and 1176. 1176 to tame it. I've got this Neo Big Owl for even more distortion and drive. So that's more distortion and drive. Then the 150 hertz high pass. So that's kind of making it the other signal, gets rid of the low end that would get in the way of the clean DI sound. And then I've got the CLA effects on here, just for the width, to make it kind of like a fretless Jacko chorusy thing.
We were divided by a wall.
And that makes it so the bass is kind of surrounding and in both sides of the speakers above 150 hertz. Yeah, just gives it some width, some fatness. I've seen quite a few mix engineers do that. I've kind of stolen it from them. It's very similar to Andy Wallace's symphonic setting with the Yamaha SPX 90, is it? We've got one upstairs, two of them upstairs in the studio, and I've used that for the similar task before. And then that's then going into, so those are both bussed into another channel, which again got more distortion on it, which has got a Neve 1073, where it's 84 vibe preamp here. It's set at unity gain. I'm driving that quite hard, so you get the drive, but you don't get the increase in volume. It automatically basically takes the volume down. I'm low passing at 6k because I don't need any super top end on that bass sound at all. 35 hertz. I'm boosting on the bass because I want it to sit underneath everything, just add some real body and warmth. Oh, and I'm just taking it all out by accident. And 700 hertz I boost a lot as well, just to give it clarity in the mix. It always works in almost every mix, just to make the bass present and audible, no matter what speakers you're on. Turned off all the compressor and all that stuff. That then goes into a C4 by ways just any multi-band compressor would do. +4, -4, attack 30, release 10. So that means when it's playing, you'll see it just really clamps down on the very bottom end, so that's really consistent.
We were divided by a wall. That is not.
So that's clamping the bottom end, but that leaves the top end open and cool. And then compressor wise, I've got this with another bit of distortion. It's on soft, so it's a very light bit of distortion there. Oh, actually, C4, if I set this right, yeah, 150 hertz, so it's just recompressing the DI type sound signal. And anything that crosses over into 200 a bit. And then here I'm just doing some side chaining to get it out of the way of the kick, as well as giving it some distortion, as you can see on the right there.
We were divided by a wall.
So whenever the bass kick drum hits, that tucks the volume down a little bit of the bass guitar. Makes it nice, the kick drum nice and clear. And then the last thing in the chain is just some waves of max bass, which is again harmonic saturation, that kind of stuff. I normally have this set on 15, but it seems to be working pretty cool. So yeah, just got that set to again help with the bass translation on little speakers and just not have loads of bottom end that can't really be reproduced by most systems. So there's a bit of a run through of that. I've also sent it to the church space. So I wanted to give it kind of an old school feel with a bit of room, which I don't very often do, but I do like it in this context.
We were divided by a wall that has now been broken down. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
So, bass, I wanted to really automate very similarly to the drums.
We were divided by a wall.
Could even be actually the case that that bass in the first chorus doesn't really do much. It's just like, it's really, really, really light. I've just automated that. I didn't want to.
Oh, what can we were down. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
Try not to yawn on streams. Not that I'm bored, I'm just tired. There we go. Let's bring that down.
Gone. We were divided by a wall that has now been broken down.
Quite like the idea that that bass there, you can kind of hear it, but it's not really that present. I think it adds something quite different to it as a mix, and yeah, just gives it a different context. Gives it a bit of an old school vibe, I think, in a way.
Time, I wonder. I look at you and all I see memories lay before me. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
bit of a click there in one of the parts. I'll have a look at that in a second. So the bass, let's just tuck him under a bit. Well, I'm not sure there. Maybe build it up a little bit for that solo. Really needs to fade off there.
When we were first together, we were so very young. I had to wait so long. Oh, I'm
genuinely could get over less bass in general, actually.
I had to wait so long. Oh, what could I have done? You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no care.
So one of the things I like to do is always check, have a little bit of a check on the analyzer here. As you can see, that right there is the snare drum, which is just a little bit louder than it needs to be, I'd say, in comparison to everything else. You want kind of everything to be balanced. You can hear it, and definitely you don't want it to disappear, but I just don't think it needs to be that high. But as you can see, once it's all kicking off, it's all kicking off, so you got to get out of there. The bass is kind of sitting nicely, and the overall there's a general similarity and level across the whole mix, which I've generally found has resulted in better mixes overall, if they're very much got that kind of balance across the frequency spectrum, particularly in the middle, in the mid-range. Don't want it to be super high at the top end, you don't want it to be super high at the bottom, you want it to kind of tail off. If you've got loads of this and loads of that, it probably means you've got less mid-range, and it's going to be a big scoopy mix. Then no one can probably hear the detail and all that mid-range goodness.
I had to wait so long.
Ultimately, though, what sounds good is good.
No one feels the heat and no one cares. No one feels the heat and no one
Great. It's got a good vibe about it. Alright, let's get the pace going a bit, so I'll be here forever. Thanks for anybody who's come and hung out on this stream. It's cool to see you. I'm a little quiet. Cool. Thank you for that. I will sort that out. Is it that I'm quiet, or is it the track's loud? I'll just bring the track down a little bit. Let me know. But yeah, thanks for everybody that's come by. I can give it a bit more on the mic as well. Just let me know. How's that? Just let me know if that's working for you. Is that about right? Maybe give it a bit more. Does seem to be a little quieter than I thought. I'm probably also just talking a bit quieter. There we go. Cool. Let's try that. Thank you for hanging around for this kind of test stream, first version of any stream I've done. I'm going to hit save while I'm here. Yeah, because I've not done one of these before, but it gives loads of options for the channel going forward, more interesting things you can do. Yeah, being able to access things like this, plugins, different pieces of gear, software. Could even do things like run through different presets on different kind of pieces of gear, or yeah, anything. It's got a real wide spectrum of things that we could do. But if this is working, that's really good news. Thank you, my man. Thank you for checking it out. Yeah, just keep letting me know, and then I'll leave that. That can be the go-to volume for the future. Sweet. So that's that done. Acoustic guitar I've automated already. The bass is automated now. It goes up and down with the drums nicely. Let's tuck the drums away, so we're kind of done with those. These are reverse cymbals that just add a little bit of excitement going into a new section. I've left them off the front half of the track, as you can see, because I didn't want it to just be very obvious. They're kind of a very obvious pop transition thing. I didn't want it to be too out there. This guitar was a track that I did because there wasn't another guitar player in the room at the time. So yeah, I played these parts. And we tried to go for something really different with these. Tried to go for a kind of a... To me, they're like quite quintessentially classic lines, but I'm just not a great guitar player, so they had to be more melodic than anything else. So the one thing is, this is all in one side, and what I'd like to do is split them out. So as you can see here, I doubled the track, and what I'm going to do is just take each phrase and maybe pop them on either side, so that it's not all from the same place. So you get the vibe of almost like having two guitar players play the same, playing different lines each on stage as you're listening to the track.
Wonder what you were going through. If only I could make it, I would try to get.
Because that's basically the same line. So I think dropping that over here would be a good idea. That's probably rubbish and junk. Let's have a listen. Probably is just stuff we don't need. Yeah, don't need that. You do get good at noticing what is just fluff and rubbish you don't need. So we've got that on one side and this on the other side.
I would try to get to you. I look at you and all I see, memories lay before me. You were lying there. No one feels the heat.
And then this is a bit of a point of contention because we've got both of these together and they totally don't work, I noticed earlier, just before I came on the stream. Bad arrangement on my part. But I think I laid the main theme down first. There we go. That's the answer there, I think. So hopefully that should now come off and fade away, and then we get the main theme come in. And that's going to need a little bit of automating as well. What's that for? Yeah, bring it up by a dB or so. Yeah, I'll do. No, it was 4.1, wasn't it? That's not a dB. That's much less than a dB. There we go. So what dB?
No one feels the heat and no one cares.
Maybe a touch more there. Let's see.
Feels the heat and no one cares.
It's not incredibly clear, I've got to say. It might not need to be there. Let's take him out. Let's try that.
You were lying there. No one feels the heat.
Awesome. Thank you for the feedback on the volume. I'll bring it up. Okay, that's maximum that it will hit now, I think. So maybe I'll bring... Oh, yeah, see, that seems like it's peaking. Let me take that just off maximum. I think I've got the limiter turned on the mic, so that's cool. And I'll bring down the track a little bit more. So they're roughly similar. Let's try. Just keep letting me know. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's really helpful. And yeah, that'll be it. Forever once it's sorted.
You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
Thank you, Thrash. Appreciate that. Yeah, just let me know if that's okay now. Obviously, there's a little bit of lag between when you're saying it's okay and me fiddling. But hopefully it's all good. And yeah, that would be ideal, not to have people turn it up and down all the time. I might change mic as well at some point, get something that's a bit more like right in front of the face. But I thought this would do for today. Try and keep it minimal and just make it work. Or at least make it work just how I know will work to start with. All these streaming things and different bits of software and stuff, it's a lot to get it all right and make it work. One thing I've noticed sometimes when I'm doing this stuff is you'll automate one part and you'll think it's great, and then you hear it in context with everything else and it's just a little bit too much still. But as I say, the last thing you address is always going to be the loudest thing in the mix, so I always try and make sure it's something like a vocal, something that doesn't matter if it's too loud, really. Not as much anyway. Something like this, actually, I really like to draw it in properly so that it kind of moves like it's someone singing the part, rather than it just sitting and you make it, oh, it's louder. So there we go, that's now going to be a little bit too much, but I'll just tuck that under from that point onwards.
When we were first together,
Great, so that should give a bit of shape to that little solo. It's not really a solo, is it? It's a melody section, but can't go wrong with those hooks. Let's check it here. Again, I'd like to just write it so that it feels like it breathes a bit more. It's like it's human. More human than it already is. Lovely. And then same with the first one. Awesome stuff. Thanks, Thrash. Thank you for helping out. Appreciate it. And yeah, cool. Thank you for tuning in and just helping out. And we'll be your settings forever. I'll leave it just where it is because you're the man and you help me out getting it sorted. So I'll definitely see what I can do about the new Squire stuff. And yeah, thank you for tuning in, my man. Have a good day. I'll be here for another half hour or so, and then I got to shoot. But yeah, this is kind of just like the last finishing touches of a mix for me. Really automating things, making them breathe, making them move a little bit more, move in and out. And then that's it. That's really the last step that I do before sending something out to just get any last bits of feedback from artists and stuff like that. But yeah, any questions you have in general, anything to do with mixing, bass, music, anything, just let me know in the live chat if you're here, or if you're watching after in the kind of replay. Leave any comments, any questions, anything you want to see, let me know down there. This is kind of a test stream just to see how things go, if it all runs smoothly, if I can do streams like this on this old connection out in the countryside. Kind of in the countryside, somewhere between countryside and city, really. Just on the green fields all around. But yeah, seems like it's working. Seems like the connection's getting stuff out there, and seems like I said it's 1080p, and it seems to be working okay with an HD stream. No one's complained so far. But yeah, any complaints or things that aren't quite right, you reckon, from this test stream, let me know as well, and I'll see what I can do about them and change the settings. Great, hit save again. So that's the main theme automated in. Right, back to things like the keys. So the keys has got nice little lines and things that we want to be listening to, but we don't necessarily want them all at the same volume. Some of it we want to be kind of emphasized and then brought back, and I'm noticing that there's certain bits that are just a bit too much. I don't really want to limit them and compress them, as I mentioned earlier, because it's trying to keep it really natural. So let's have a look, and I'll open up the... I'll just automate that last electric guitar bit as well. Great, so that's hopefully that. It should be right, it's got some feel. Right, keys now. Same thing, set it to latch, and let's have a little bit of a shift around.
Oh, what can I do? We were divided by a wall that has now been broken down. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
On there, actually, I might add some more mid-range to the keys. They just sound a little bit like they're missing some. It could be that frequency right there, actually.
That has now been broken down.
Now, that would have been an ugly frequency that I've taken out. That's a bit better, I think. Just thickened it up, poked it underneath.
We were divided by a wall that has now been broken down. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
That's cool. So we've got the blend now where the keys poke through enough. I think you've kind of got a little bit of the stereo, the attack either side, and then poke that under the mid-range to thicken it out and give some more body overall to the keys and kind of make them very audible in that mid-range frequency, about 600 hertz where it was boosted in the end. And after that, you can then hear nicely how it trails off and you get the pad just sits above it. And that's the idea with this. I wanted to have a little bit of an ethereal thing with the keys and the pad interchanging with each other.
No one feels the heat and no one cares.
So I think it's there that the keys are way loud for me.
Time, I wonder what you were going through. If only I could make it, I would try to get to you. I look at you and all I see memories lay before me. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
So that first impact there, I think I could do with a bit more. Some of that was just a little bit loud in places, just re-distracts a bit.
When we were
Great. Save that, and then write this last section.
I had to wait so long.
Right, I can't hear the keys at all, so let's bring them up a touch.
I had to wait so long. Oh, what more could I have done? You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
Now, to be honest, that's probably a bit mad in terms of the range of kind of going up and down there, but I think it's kind of right. It just needs to sprinkle in and out, and I don't want too much keys. So I think the attack on the ba-da-ding, kind of like the belliness of it, the FM synth kind of sound of it is just quite prominent. I don't want too much of that because it just kind of pokes you in the face a bit too much.
I had to wait so long. Oh, what more could I have done? You were lying.
Oh, I've just automated the attack of that. Didn't want to do that. But that's the other option, of course, is to take the compressor and just bite down on the front of that a little bit more, so it's more like a 4 millisecond attack or something. Get a bit of attack, but not too much. As you can see, or hear, quite a lot of distortion going on there from the knee old, what's this, the warble, yeah, the kind of tape. Old school saturator type thing, and I find that really helps with all these keys parts because you can't tell that it's got any of it on in the mix, but it really helps with the getting it to cut Volume, there we go, cool.
That is now been broken down. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
Okay, so that's pretty much everything when it comes to automation. I think the guitar chords and things are absolutely fine, just staying where they are. The only thing I want to look at is always look at the vocals and what's going on with those. Might be a case of just automating the whole bus. Like I said earlier, I've got these all split into separate buses. So it could be a case of just boosting the whole bus over here with that Vox bus there. Or it could be a case of just doing each track individually. As you can see, there's a big difference in the vocal volume from the verse to the chorus, and the verse is also quite dynamic. I didn't want to, again, squish it too hard or limit it or anything like that, really. So hence why I want to go through and automate and just really bring out the right parts and make things tuck in where they need to. So here we go, here's the pad. I want to bring that up from nothing, I think. So I'll latch it and bring it up. Where are we at? 21's 24. Okay.
Understand what I've been going through. Times come and gone. Oh, what can I do? We were divided by a wall that is now the heat and no one cares. Time, I wonder.
Sorry, not the most entertaining thing, but making it breathe with the track.
If only I could make it, I would try to get to you. I look at you and all I see, memories lay before me. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares. Together, we were so very young. I had to wait so long. Oh, what could I have done? You were lying there. No one feels
Cool. So that's the pad, just kind of brought in and out. I kind of built it up into that chorus. I don't want it to be very obvious at all, really, as you can tell. But I just want it to add another texture, another ethereal thing. What I might do actually is just to boost up. Oh, no words. I'm going to boost up a little bit of the reverb. So send it to a reverb. Send it to the church verb that I've got going on. I just hope that adds a bit more to the depth of it.
You were love.
And then always with these things, I generally do that and then just tuck them under a little bit more. Because when you're listening out for that part specifically, I feel like you sometimes over-egg it a touch. You're just desperately trying to make sure that you've got it. And then, yeah, just tuck it under a little bit afterwards. I'll take the top end off that as well at the start. I'll take the top end off it all the way through. Let's try that. A bit of filtering. I also need to cut the front end of the guitars off. I can hear that. Maybe if I latch on and do. I might do something like that. That seems to work quite nicely to my ear. Just gives it a little bit of something interesting going on. Let's latch that in as well. Okay, so
Do you understand what I've been going through? Times come and gone. Oh, what can I do? We were divided by a wall. That is
then leave that be. That's cool.
time. I wonder what you were going.
Great, that's cool all the way through the verse.
I look at you and all I see memories lay before me. You were lying there.
Great, set that as it is.
We were so very young. I had to wait so long.
Great, I think that does the job. And then maybe I'll just tuck it down at the end with that EQ again, just take the top.
No one feels the heat and no one cares.
Great. Keeping it really simple. There's nothing to this mix, really. It's very, very, very simple parts. Right, things I want to touch and adjust are the snare and then just the vocals. Snare, maybe add that sub bass to that last verse. Sorry, that last chorus. So that snare top, that's all snare and snare samples. Samples. But sometimes you just got to get that smack out of it with a sample when I'm a bit of a sucker for it. I've got to have that real beef and crack to the snare that I'm after sometimes. I just think it evokes a lot more emotionally when you've got that going on.
I had to wait so long. Oh, I'm more good I have done. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
To be fair, if I maybe just bring the sample down overall, that might be the answer, because the snare's nice, got a nice balance in the verse with the rim click.
I had to wait so long. Oh, I'm more good I have done. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares. No one feels the heat and no one cares. I had to wait so long. Oh, I'm more good I have done. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
It's probably probably a bit better balanced, I reckon. I did quite like the snare though. Might bring it up a little bit more.
I had to wait so long. Oh, I'm more good.
Only because it doesn't happen throughout the track. If it was kind of all the way through, I'd think, oh, it's a bit much. And I haven't done a couple of mixes like that because I do like my snare quite loud. And yeah, I probably would have turned it down a bit in some of them previously. But it just gives it some snap and some body that it's kind of missing the rest of the track, isn't it? It only happens at that one point. Okay, so that. Let's have a look at this sub bass maybe. I've got about 15 minutes left, 12 minutes or so to go before I've got to shoot. So let's add in yeah, a bit of sub bass and see what we get out of it. Thank you for anybody who's joined me on the stream. It's been cool to have you on here. Any questions on the replay or anything, just leave them in the comments below. Anything you want to see from the channel, anything and everything, pop it in the chat. I did not know that you could not label a track on Logic. That's so weird. Wow, who knew that? Oh, I think it was a bug. Yeah, that is a bug. Okay. Only happened once, but it was all on a live stream, so still happened, still real. Sub bass. And then for this, I always use the dub. There's something like a dub something. Synth on Alchemy. A bit lazy that I keep using Alchemy synths, but my headphone thing is in the way, but that does the job, doesn't it? That's don't even know if YouTube will actually reproduce that. I noticed that YouTube sine sweeps when I was tuning my room. With sine sweeps, once it gets to, I think it's under about 40 hertz, 39, 38, something like that, YouTube actually doesn't have the sound. So I thought that I had real problem in my room. So I was thinking that it wasn't reproducing those frequencies. And then again, at the top end, it doesn't reproduce certain frequencies, but I can definitely hear them in other, sine sweeps outside of YouTube. So I think it's actually kind of something like 40 hertz to 18k, that maybe 16k or something, that YouTube can reproduce. Oh, the cat's outside and wants to come in, but not today, because it will ruin this and ruin my playing. Here we go, let's get this down.
We were so very young. I had to wait so long. Oh, what more could I have done? You were lying there.
Oh, I played it differently on the bass part. I should probably copy that. Funny thing is, when you're in that register down there, you think, oh, it's definitely in tune. It's totally not. So it's actually that. Okay, cool. Got an idea what's going on now. I've done that before, where you program a whole part and it's a semitone out or something, because you just can't hear the sub lows and what frequencies they're really producing.
We were so very young. I had to wait so long. Oh, what more could I have done? You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
So that's totally setting the limiter off in a big way, but that's okay. I'll sort him out in a second.
I had to wait so long. Oh, what more could I have done?
As you can tell there, I was playing A, not A flat the whole way through, so I've tweaked that, because the track's in A flat. I quite like leaving the velocity as it is. I don't always like clamping down on it, but some of these are really loud, so I'm just going to tuck it under a bit, because I don't need that much.
I had to wait so long.
So, synth bass, sub bass processing. My go-to plugins are, sometimes it's R bass, sometimes it's max bass. In this case, I'm probably going to go, do I want R or max? I'll go with R bass and have its frequency right down low. So let's look at like 35 or something like that. Bring the intensity right down, and hopefully that'll give us a nice saturation that we need.
I had to wait so long. Oh, what more could I have done?
So what we want there is really subtle reinforcement of this is the last chorus. It's fatter than all the other ones. What we also want to do is turn off things like delays. I've turned it off already. I've backed it off, haven't I? But don't want stuff like that flying about. And then effects-wise, I'm going to turn that on and bring in some distortion. So just a normal distortion. I really like this in Alchemy. It's really cool. Add the tube one. Also going to bus it to the drum and bass bus. So that's the output. So it's got the saturation from that as well, and the compressor.
I had to wait so long.
And there, it's suddenly got this massive fat low end added underneath the bass guitar. And you can just hear that it's deep, and that's from the distortion and things like that, giving that extra character, and the R bass doing the same, saturating it in a way that just makes it sound much louder and deeper than it is.
I had to wait so long. Oh, what could I have done? You were lying there.
So all that stuff up in this range, that's all the harmonics that have been created from those subnotes, and that's what makes it really audible for us. I'm going to top some very, very bottom end out of that with a 48 filter. There we go.
Oh, what could I have done? You were lying there.
As much as it's fun to have it massive, I'm then going to turn it down, as you can see.
No one feels the heat and no one cares. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
I totally just removed something I wanted. I wanted that EQ, didn't I? Yeah. There we go.
I had to wait. Oh, what could I have done? You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
Yeah, you know it's there. You can tell that it's happening down there. Sweet. I'm being messaged. What's going on? Leave me alone.
I had to wait so long. Oh, what could I have done? You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares. No one feels.
So nothing revolutionary with this production at all. Hit save, that's the sub bass in there, tucked underneath everything. Now, I keep using the word tucked under. I've used it about 500 times. There's so much tucking going on that, yeah, lots of tucking. Move that, please. So, let's double check these guitar parts. No, they all need to stay on that side because, as you can see in this last chorus, I do want you to move, thanks. The last chorus, we've got this going on. And that's something I want to automate as well, these little licks down here at the end. So as you can see, a lot of this is just going into automating things at the very end of the track.
We were.
And that's a big part of what I generally do. Obviously, I normally do it a little bit quicker because I'm not chatting to you guys, but I thought I'd kind of make the most of it while I'm here.
So very. Oh, what could I have done? You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no
Do you like that line actually?
lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
I think that needs to be louder. It needs to speak.
Feels the heat and no one cares. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
Great. that's there. It's not super obviously clear, but I think the vocals are more important there in general. But if you want to listen to it, it's in there, it's doing things, you can catch it on the right side. So let's just get this, did I just move that? No. Cool, let's just get this vocal done, vocal automated, and then I'll head off. Thank you to everyone who's dropped by. Anything you want to see in future, let me know. This is just kind of a bit of a test stream, see if everything can stand up to it, hold up to it, and it certainly has, I think. It's still going out. People can still tune into it and everything, so that's cool with me. And yeah, it'd be good to get more streams with more chat and more things going on. And yeah, I'll start posting about them, start thinking about them, thinking about what I can do specifically on a stream, be more useful, be more intentional with it. But for now, I was just going to have to do this anyway, so I thought, why not let people in and see if people show up, and some of you have, so thank you for that. Cool. Here we go.
Do you understand what I've been going through? Times come and gone. Oh, what can I do?
That's way too much. I've gone just way over the top there. Just trying to really balance with that acoustic guitar. Right, let's go again.
Do you understand what I've been going through? Times come and gone. Oh, what can I do?
So that's the verse. Let's do verse 2. I'm just trying to. One thing is I think it's a Bill Schnee trick, is to bring up the end of the vocal so that each of those lines feels like they go on a little bit longer than they do. So every line, I'm just tucking it up. Stop using tucking. So many tuckings. But yeah, every line, I'm just bringing it up a little bit at the end.
Time, I wonder what you were going through. If only I could make it, I would try to get to you.
That to you's always been a bit loud for me.
Try to get to you.
And then we've got one more quiet section, which is over here.
When we were first together, we were so very young.
Is that emotional enough?
When we were,
I want it closer is the thing with this. It's got to be close enough without being just obnoxiously loud. That's what I'm trying to capture. And that point there is quite an emotional moment that I feel needs to be.
when we were first together, we were so very young. I had to wait so long.
That might be the one for me, where it kind of comes right up front. Even though it's a quiet section, I think it needs to be there, kind of away from everything else.
Time, I wonder.
To be fair, this may all change a little bit once I take the headphones off and listen through speakers. Obviously, some streaming, I've got to be on headphones. But I know the headphones pretty well in general. I've got SonarWorks running. So what I'm hearing is pretty accurate in representation. But sometimes when it's coming through on headphones versus speakers, there's just this difference in depth and where things sit. And these PMC speakers I've got here are amazing. So you kind of get a really, really good sense of where everything should be with them. So yeah, let's just get this chorus done. Notice that the second chorus is a lot quieter, so that needs pumping up a bit anyway, which explains a lot.
We were
See, that's just a bit too much, isn't it now?
We were divided by a wall that has now been broken down. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
Maybe just bring it all up a touch. It's felt a bit like I was listening to it from a mile away. I've also brought up the spring reverb later in the track. I think maybe for this first chorus that spring reverb's too much. And I do this a lot where I'll have a bit more of a reverb later on. I'll add it and then sometimes you realise, oh actually for that first verse that totally doesn't work.
We were divided by a wall.
I think it's 15.
We were divided by a wall.
See, that's enough for me just to bring it back to where it needs to be. I'm going to touch so that it doesn't change the whole track, just that bit at the start.
We were divided by a wall that has now been broken down. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
So that's the reverb brought down as well. So second chorus, let's do some writing of the main volume.
I look at you and all I see.
Different lines is the thing, so it means you can't copy and paste, and it does make it difficult. You know, if you've got a tape that's quieter, you're going to have to bring it up and make sure it's kind of got a consistent level with the rest of it. Do you know what? I might actually just do this. I'm just going to cut it. Those first three lines look a bit quieter. Come up to these region bit and just clip gain up like you would on Pro Tools. Hopefully that's going to give a more consistent sound as well because it's hitting the compressors and things at the same level.
I look at you and all I see. We were divided by a wall. To you, I look at you and all I see.
Maybe not as strong, so I'm going to just tuck it under a bit. Ah, I'm using tuck again. Oh well. Going to just bring it down a little bit. And start writing.
I look at you and all I see. Memories lay before me. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
Almost.
No one feels the heat and no one cares. No one feels the heat and no one cares. We were so very young. I had to wait so long. Oh, what more could I have done? You were lying there. No.
Oh, lost my thing.
No one feels the heat and no one cares. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
Okay, cool. So I think that's about it for this stream overall. That's an idea of what I kind of go through is to bring all that up and down, and then overall should have nice movement in parts.
Times come and gone. Oh, what can I do? time. I wonder what you were going through. If only I could make it, I would try to get to you.
I think generally that that line could just the verse could just come down a bit. Just tuck it on. Just come down.
I wonder what you were going through. If only I could make it, I would try to get to you. I look at you and all I see, memories lay before me. You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares. When we were first together, we were so very young. I had to wait so long. Oh, what more could I have done? You were lying there. No one feels the heat and no one cares. No one feels the heat and no one cares. No one feels the heat and no one cares. No one feels the heat and no one cares.
So there we go. That's that track. I think it's generally in pretty good shape. As I say, I'll give it a listen through speakers. I'll give it a listen through my phone as well. That's my classic little couple of mix checkers. The phone tells me if there's too much reverb, and so do the speakers generally. But the phone really tells me if there's too much reverb going on. And just gives me an idea generally. Basically, everyone I ever send a mix to listens to it on their phone first because they get the email on their phone and they hit play. And if that's a good first impression, you're off to a good start. So that will be it. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. This has been cool and fun and just nice to be able to do something, kind of two things at once, multitasking and getting it out there as well. So thank you everybody for that. I'll catch you soon. Don't forget, I've got some IRs on my store now, so on my website, TitusPersonMusic.com, you can pick those up for bass cabinets, for Aguilar, and there are more coming very, very soon. I'm doing some more tomorrow, and they should be out on the store in the next week or two. And yeah, that's it. So thank you so much, and I will catch you all very soon. See you later. Now I just need to work out how to turn off the stream. There we go. Right, catch you all later. Thank you so much. Bye.